Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So I'm back with my full review of the Tab S6 Lite. And this is actually my first time reviewing a Samsung tablet, even though I've had quite a few of them in the past. And I have to say, for 350 bucks, I kind of like it. It's got a lot of things going for it, including the S Pen that make it very complimentary and also competitive when it comes to the iPad world, which some people want. So before we get too much into it, I do want to say, if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get updates on the latest videos. Now let's take a look at the Tab S6 Lite. All right, so the first thing you're probably going to notice about the Tab S6 Lite is the color. There's actually a lot of nice colors for this, which usually isn't something that I talk about when it comes to Samsung because they don't usually launch with cool colors. But this is the Oxford Gray edition. They also have an Angora Blue, which looks really, really nice. I really wanted that one, but when I ordered mine the day it came out, it was like, wait 3 weeks for the blue one, or I could get this one, so I went with this. There's also a chiffon pink if you feel so inclined to pick one of those up. Now, price-wise, I think that they're pretty competitive. So this right here is gonna run you $349. It comes with 64 gigabytes of internal storage. You can get a 128 gigabyte model if you wanna pay 429 bucks. So storage options, not too bad. 8 megapixel camera on the front, 5 megapixel front-facing selfie camera. Both of them are capable of 1080p video at 30 frames per second. It's got a USB-C charger on the bottom. Now, what's really nice about this is it has dual stereo speakers. Now, what I just referred to as the bottom quickly becomes the side whenever you hold it like this, which is generally, I think, how they kind of want you to use it. Because if you look up here, you got a speaker there, and you've got an identical speaker bookending the other side over here. And then you have your convenient buttons up here, volume up, volume down, and the power button. So pretty cool, and even has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on the top or the left side, whichever you want to call it. It has a really nice form factor. It feels solid throughout. Unlike the iPad, especially the lower end iPad, it doesn't feel light and hollow on the inside. It's kind of a consistent density and feel throughout, and it's very well balanced. Samsung label there on the back. And overall, it looks pretty sleek. What you're missing out on, though, is it just doesn't have the performance of the S6. So I like that they referred to this as the Tab S6 Lite and not the E model. So like when we had the Tab S5e, I didn't really feel like it did a good job kind of, delineating it between the other tablets that were out there. But I like this whole new Lite thing because it helps temper your expectations when you go into the tablet experience. This right here is exactly what it says it is. It's a light version of the Tab S6. So they've done some cost cutting to get it down to that $350 price point, and also included the handy dandy S Pen. Now, it doesn't have all the crazy motion gestures and additional stuff that like the traditional Note stylus has. This is very much just a common stylus, but it works with it. The button has very limited functionality. I mean, you have to get it like up close and then press it so you can get the menu to pop up. I didn't really feel like they were all that creative or inventive with this, but it really is just an extension of being able to interact with the tablet in a different way, which is fine, totally fine. And it's nice that it comes with it at the $350 price point, because if you want to get an iPad, the lowest level iPad 2019 model, MSRP is for $350 as well. Of course, you can find them commonly for 250 bucks, and I just bought one recently. My wife's using it now. I'm using this one, but I think that the iPad at 250 bucks is a steal. Now this right here, if it were 250 bucks, I would say it would be kind of an equal steal, but they make it where it comes with the S Pen. So at 350 bucks, it's essentially the same as getting a iPad on sale and then buying an Apple Pencil. So you can see exactly where they're marketing this. They're trying to compete directly with the regular iPad, not the iPad Air, not the iPad Pro, just the regular iPad. So this has a 10.4-inch LCD screen on it, and it's running the latest OneUI 2.1 on it. It has a May 1st security update as of today, which is June the 14th. So that's not really less than I would expect. I'm actually okay with the fact that it has a May security patch update because that's not bad for Samsung. Overall, the interface is nice. It's just like using a phone, and that's what I like that they've kind of done with the tablet lineup and the phone lineup with this whole OneUI update that we started on this road about a year ago. So OneUI 2.1, very nice. I mean, you can get your Samsung update over here, your daily update, and then just like you do with the Life, you don't Google and all the cool stuff. Nice big icons, easy to use stylus. One of the cool things about this, and I think maybe some other people might appreciate this and understand as well, it's really cool they've got all these drawing apps that you can get now on the tablet. So if you want to kill time, they say they're really good for like anxiety and helping out with that stuff too. Plus it's just nice to create something. Sit down, do some drawing, fill in little shapes and all that stuff. It's kind of neat. And then whenever you're drawing, you take pictures, you can draw, you can do the AR stuff. So you can like draw little lines and stuff on your face during the live pictures and things like that. So it does have some versatility, and of course that's embedded with the OneUI on here. So pretty cool. The camera is nice for like Zoom meetings and for duo calls and things like that. I've personally used this on 2 different Zoom meetings and it works out fine. The microphone pickup is good. The sound feedback is also nice. It's rated for like 13 hours of overall playtime. Which I'd say is about on par, and that's really kind of a mixed use thing. I mean, you're not going to sit down and turn this on YouTube and get 13 hours of straight video back playtime, but it's a little bit different than normal use when you're talking about like a phone. Because when normally you talk about a phone, we talk about screen on time. Screen on time, you're not going to get 13 hours of screen on time, but mixed use, it's perfectly good. It'll get you throughout a day, and this is one of those things, it's not designed to be a laptop replacement. The Tab S6, the iPad Pro, those are kind of designed for people in the middle. It's like we have this cool Magic Keyboard, we have this cool Samsung keyboard, we have desktop mode, all those things that make it where you can use it as a laptop by day and a tablet by night for when you just want to lay down in bed and play on the tablet, use your apps, your social media, watch some videos, great for flying on airplanes, but then you can attach a keyboard. This does not have a keyboard that comes with it. Of course, it supports Bluetooth and USB powered or connected keyboards, but Samsung does not have an official keyboard for this to date like they do with the Tab S6. I think that was by design because they don't want you to think that this is a laptop replacement. It's really not overly powerful. And if you look at the benchmarks, I took a look at them on the single core speed. It's about half the rating that the iPad has on its processor. Although the multi-core speed is higher than the iPad's processor, it doesn't translate into day-to-day usage. So just normally using it, using it for apps and social media and stuff like that, it's perfectly fine. It's not the most powerful. It's not the snappiest in the world. It does have a like mid-tier Samsung Exynos processor, and it's actually the same one that's in the A50 and the A51, combined with 4 gigabytes of RAM. They say that it has the same amount of RAM as like the iPad. It really just doesn't translate that well. I mean, the iPhone and the iPad have done with 2 gigabytes of RAM what has taken Android 4 to 6 gigabytes of RAM to use for the last couple of years. So when you go into this, know that you're getting a good tablet that's worth $350. You can use it for pretty much whatever you want, with the exception of high-level gaming. You can do some stuff like mid-level gaming. I did play PUBG on here, and it runs actually surprisingly well on HD, like normal default settings. Don't try and turn it up. Don't do that. You can turn it down, though, and you'll get better performance that way. It takes forever to load. So once you get in the game, it seems to be okay, but it takes a long time to load. I did play Call of Duty. Call of Duty Mobile actually worked surprisingly better than I thought it would, even with the placement of the hands on the screen. This is not to be used for gaming. It just doesn't translate. It's not that high efficiency. I do want to talk about the stylus though, because it doesn't have a dedicated spot. Like on the Tab S6, there's a spot on the back where it kind of sits in like a groove. It's not on here. And if you saw my unboxing and first impressions, I was a little irritated with the whole here. You can put it on this side because it gets in the way, and as soon as you touch it, it falls off. It's not very strong magnets at all. And then you can put it on this side as well, which is also cool. But the thing with it is, it's not really designed like to be held like this. They have it set up so you hold it like this. If you hold it like this, and of course this is how you play most games, this is how you consume some media and things like that, then yeah, it works okay. I mean, it's up and out of the way. But what you do find, and somebody pointed out this to me in my video, I didn't realize it has a spot on the back. So you can put it here. If you want to hold it in portrait mode, you can hold it like this. It actually works out pretty well. So I don't want to complain too much about that, but as far as the sides, it is a little annoying because typically I like to hold it like this. So you can put that there, and then you can even turn it and you can have it go that way as well. So it's pretty versatile there. And then of course on both of the sides. So you have quite a few options. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is biometrics. It doesn't have a fingerprint sensor, which is kind of odd to me. I wish they would have maybe at least put one in the side up here. You can either put a pin, you can do a password, you can do the little, drawy thing, the pattern, or you can use the facial unlock technology in here. Now, it's just standard facial recognition. It's kind of slow, and it's not the best in the world. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate this real quick. So we'll turn it off, turn it back on, and you can see here, there we go, it unlocked. So it kind of takes about 1.5 seconds, maybe 2 seconds. It's not the fastest in the world. So let me go here so you can see better. All right, so it just unlocked. So it works. It's not absolutely amazing. It's just there. It's just like any other cheap Android facial scanning technology. And yeah, you can use it for that. Sometimes, especially if I'm like laying in bed at night or the lights are out and it doesn't always work, I'll just type in the pin, so it's whatever. But it's not something like a phone where it's constantly like on, off, on, off, on, off. And that's one of the things that I kind of relate back to with the screen on time. If you're using a tablet, it's likely not something you're just sitting there using all day like a phone. It's when you're on a plane or you're sitting there at home on leisure time, you're on the couch, you're laying in bed, and you're kind of wanting to do something on your tablet while you're watching TV or winding down for the evening. This is a really good alternative. It's a nice option. And of course, it's not a desktop, it's not a laptop replacement, it's not a pro tablet replacement. It's just a really good Android Samsung tablet. So if you want something that's not $1 million, and if you want an alternative to iPad and you like Samsung or you like Android, then I think this is a solid option. Just know that it's not for gaming, it's not high performance, and sometimes it can seem a little on the slow side, mostly when you just have a bunch of things open. But overall, I like it. It's nice, and it also integrates really well if you have a Samsung phone. So if you have a Samsung phone, you can go into here, into your messages, and you can connect them. So just like with iMessage, you can use the tablet and connect it with your phone so you can send and receive messages and calls on your tablet. So I like that a lot as well. And when you first get the tablet and you press on the message option, it'll walk you through and give you the option to connect it to your Samsung phone. So pretty cool there. Doesn't work with other Android phones, only with Samsung. So if you want to get invested in the Samsung ecosphere, it's a really good option there as well. So that's about all I have on my review of the Tab S6 Lite. Nice tablet, $350, comes with the S Pen, and yeah, it just is what it is. It does what you need it to do, and I think it's a solid option for the price. So that's all I've got on my review of the Tab S6 Lite. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, like I said in the beginning, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get updates on the latest videos. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.